Check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house, buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Right now, yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. This is your host and Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Corum, with my executive producer here in the studio in downtown Denver, Colorado, Mr. Jonathan Winston. It's awesome. Okay, just slow down. If we can't have fun on the show, I don't know what we can do.
I gotta get that guy out of here.
Yeah, leave your fans outside, man. Come on.
So yeah, I'm here. And
It's cool. That's good.
downtown Denver, I was hanging out.
Right.
Down at a place called Corridor 44.
Yeah, I love that spot.
Yeah, it was like random. I was looking for a place that would be open,
Right.
Just gradually starting to, loosen up. I was like, oh man, look at this random spot. It's like champagne and wine bar. I'm like, maybe. But they had a full bar, so I was happy about that.
Right.
So, I'm sitting there with my friend, we're having a drink, and the night, it got kind of weird, a big pink limo.
Oh, nice.
A swingers couple.
Oh.
Anniversary. There's a lot of strange stuff going on.
Welcome to downtown Denver, though.
Downtown Denver.
Right.
If you want to know more about that story, you have to meet me in person.
That's right. Yeah.
It was kind of wild.
John can be reached at 555-12. All right, listen. That is downtown Denver, though, man. That's what I love about the city is you never know what you're gonna get, and I desperately miss my downtown Denver condo. But there's so much going on in the city right now. Things are gonna have to settle down a bit. Let's get to the show. As always, we start with a news article, and obviously you tuned into the show today because you saw the title, "Why I Hate Zillow," right? And we've joked about it periodically, but somebody actually came to me and go, yo, man, you're pretty rough on Zillow. What did they do to you, right? Well, let's start with this article, shall we?
Let's start.
Why don't we start with why I hate Zillow? The Zillow former co-founder and former chief executive officer
CEO
listed his property for $7 million more than his Zillow's estimate. Okay, so here's the guy that created the data stream, is going out there advising people on what their property is worth, and he doesn't even believe it because he listed his house for not a little bit more, not $30,000 more, but $7 million more than the Zillow's estimate. That's a lot more, okay? And I want you to read the article because I can't possibly do it justice without using a bunch of expletives and whatnot. We've totally agreed not to cuss on this show, right? But I can tell you that it goes to show one of the reasons I don't like Zillow. So let's get into that. We're going to unpack that a little bit, okay? Because I joke about it periodically in the show that everything I hate about real estate is tied into Zillow. Let's begin as a young real estate agent in my retail career, okay? So Zillow is this website, right? And I'm this low-end agent, and suddenly I'm on Zillow one day for reasons I still can't explain, and I see one of my listings on there. And at the top of the listing, I'm thinking, well, this is kind of cool because I'm getting some free publicity from Zillow. My client had mentioned, I saw the listing on Zillow, looks pretty good. I was, yeah, thanks, man. I do what I do. It's a good thing, I didn't do anything. It syndicates from the MLS, but at the top of it is this competitive agent. And not any competitive agent, but a guy I really can't stand. And so I'm going, now how is it that this is my listing and this dude is getting my advertising? Now, if you're not a retail agent right now, you're thinking, I don't care whose name and picture is next to your listing, Donny. Get over it. Why are you so upset? Here's the problem, okay? Over time, as I became a more established retail agent, I, of course, got the sales call from Zillow. Yo, dog. And they talk like this because they all sound kind of like drug dealers a little bit, right? It's like, hey, I got that Zillow. right? And I can hook you up with mad leads. Like people will be calling you all the time, not just to buy your listings, other people's listings too. I'm like, man, that sounds real good. Like that would help because if I had more buyer leads, I could sell more buyers, right? And then I would make more money. So I like that. Yeah, I'm going to sign up. How much do you need? We're going to start you off at $500 a month, right? And they always start you off like $500 a month because that's their game. They're going to bait you in. And you get a couple of leads, right? And they might even be closable. I can't actually argue with the quality of the Zillow lead, okay? Because at the end of the day, people who are searching on Zillow for real estate, despite my numerous attempts to make them not do that, people who are doing that are generally pretty far along in the sales cycle. Like they actually probably want to buy a house, right? The problem was it went from 500 to 2,000 a month, then from 2,000 a month, it went to 5,000 a month. And when I capped out, I was invited to this private gathering at the Zillow Denver headquarters, which is right next to Top Golf in Centennial, Colorado. Gorgeous facility. So you walk in this huge office space, right? And they've got these giant conference rooms. And in the great areas, there's a coffee bar. I mean, I'm talking like a Starbucks-esque coffee bar, right? Croissants, donuts, anything you wanted, everything was free. So like, hey, you want a little something from the coffee bar? I was like, I'm actually here to talk business. I don't need you don't need to schmooze me. Just get to the point, right? But I had that. So I'm sitting down, I'm enjoying my raspberry water, right? And I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost? Well, if you want to be a top elite premier agent, it's going to be $10,000 a month, right? And listen, the thing about being a salesperson, because I'm in sales, is I'm easy to sell. I'm not going to lie to you about that. That's just the bottom line, right? So I'm like, 10 grand a month? Yeah, man, they're going to get top placement. You're going to be everything. Like you're going to be this zip code's master, right? So, and that's it, because they break it down at zip codes. When you buy Zillow space, the reason why that cat was at the top of my listing was because he had bought all the zip code space in there. So even though it was my listing, it looked like he was the guy in charge, right? So now I'm that dude, right? I'm 10 G's a month. I walk out, I'm like, yeah, I'm hot. Like I'm Zillow, like I'm big. And for a while, I ain't gonna lie to you, it was lucrative. But then somebody else shows up, right? And suddenly I'm not getting as many leads, right? And this guy turned out to be the broker owner of my very facility who went from 10 grand a month in my zip code to 12 grand a month. Zillow didn't call and say, we're cutting down your bill. Zillow said, got you and got him. Right? So if you want to know why I don't like Zillow, that is reason number one. As a retail agent, I believe, and years before this happened, I was talking to the local data MLS provider, and they were voting on whether or not they should allow Zillow access to our data, and I was a vehement, do not give a national provider access to our local data. It will be the death of us eventually. And of course they didn't listen to me. They gave Zillow the feed, and then now all the agents complaining, I can't compete. I can't keep up with Zillow. They're getting all the leads. I was like, I told y'all that was going to happen before it happened. They kicked me out. Soylent Green is people. But I wasn't wrong. Zillow became the scourge of the real estate industry, like at the end of the day. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, because that's pretty bad, right? I take that personally because it took a lot of money out of the pockets of real estate agents, some of which still do very well with Zillow marketing. So I cannot say it doesn't work. I can simply tell you I don't like them. And you're tuned into my show about why I hate Zillow, not Zillow's show on why they're awesome. So you got to put up with my opinion of it, right? That's just how it's going to be, right? The second reason I really don't like Zillow is much less personal, but rather more that it's bad for the economics of it all. As the article that I mentioned in the opener brings up, the numbers on there are notoriously inaccurate. Now imagine you're a seller, right? And when the market was going well, Zillow was pricing well ahead of what properties were worth, okay? The Zestimate was known to be inaccurate by a very large volume. So this is problematic if you're a retail real estate agent, because as a professional retail real estate agent, your job is to analyze actual data, not fictional Zillow data, and come up with the sale price of the house. So I walk in, I do my little spiel, I can sell this property, it's worth $300K. Well, that's interesting, Donny, because Zillow says it's worth $325. I don't give a rat's beep what Zillow said it's worth, right? I'm trying to tell you that I'm an appraiser, right? I'm an investor, and I'm a 20-year veteran in this industry, and I am not going to be told by some website calculator what this property is worth. It's worth $300 grand. And of course, Thank you. And this argument would go on every listing I did for a long time, right? And it was so frustrating because I wanted not to hurt these people. And when you're a desperate agent, you're taking the listing anyway. Okay, well, list it at 325, right? And then it sits on the market and doesn't sell because Zillow was surprisingly enough wrong. And so we'd go months and months. And of course, no matter what you do, if the property goes months and months, they're like, well, it's the agent's fault it didn't sell. No, it was your fault for believing the Zillow's estimate and my fault for listing at that price anyway, because I knew it wasn't going to work, right? And then inevitably they would list with somebody else who'd be more convincing than I was at the actual list price. The property would sell immediately, and that guy gets all the kudos.
I mean, it's easy to be convinced after you've been wrong for 2 months on the list price. It's like, and then they fire the other guy. Well, yeah, it does. It does sound right. Maybe it should be listed at 300.
It absolutely is. But people have a lot of pride when it relates to housing, right? So they're not going to admit to their agent. They're not going to come back to their agent and go, you were right, like I was wrong. They fire you. They take the new guy who gets the actual price, and then, that's how this thing works, okay? So the other reason I hate Zillow is because they're misleading the public. They're misleading them with the Zillow's estimate, and even the former CEO disagreed with the analysis done by this calculator by $7 million. So think about that. Think about how bad it is for an industry if you're trying to do the right thing through actual analysis, through using the MLS or tools like PropStream, or however you're doing actual homework, and then this massive website shows up and goes, you're completely wrong. This is the actual retail price of the house. Hi, this is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. One of the things we talk about on the show is the importance of great foreclosure data in helping you to find a great deal on a foreclosure property. But where do you find this data? You're certainly not going to find it on Realtor.com. You can't get it on your local MLS. So we have partnered with data provider Foreclosures.com to get you the latest and greatest in foreclosure listings right there in your local market. These properties are not hit the market in most cases, and when they have been foreclosed, gives you easy access to find out more detail so you can get the best deal on a foreclosure property. Getting started is super easy. Head on out to foreclosuredealscoach.com and click on the link labeled foreclosure list. Enter your zip code for a free 7-day trial of the best foreclosure listing data available in your local market. These properties are not even on the market yet, so you can get a jump on them and get a great deal. Once again, this is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. We'll look forward to seeing you there. So there's 2 reasons now. One, that I'm spending 10 grand a month of my hard-earned money to generate leads, which was my choice. This is capitalism, and I'm not gonna lie to you. If I could have thought of Zillow, like you might be on www.donny.com, right? Like if I could thought of that stuff before they did, I'd be doing the same thing. So I'm not hating on that. Selling leads back to agents, ingenious idea, okay? It just, I didn't think of it, so I don't like them. It just comes down to that, right? Number 2, misleading the consumer. And number 3 is the biggest travesty of all, where we are today. See, somewhere along the road, Zillow got to thinking, well, we've got all this analysis, right, of actual sales property prices, right? We could go out there and be truthful about what they're selling for, but why would we do that? Instead, Zillow themselves invented Zillow Offers, a real estate investing platform built into a giant manipulative database. Now, I want you to think of the danger of that for just a second, okay? Zillow's making up the numbers as they go. In the past, they have erred way too far to the high side, basically as a way to kill the real estate agent, make them look stupid, okay? Then now, look very careful at the Zillow's estimate on your home today. You know what you're gonna find in most markets? That it's way under what the property value is. And right next to that estimate, there's a button that says, wanna sell? We're buying homes in your area right now.
That's pretty tricky, man.
Right? So they are basically manipulating the market to serve their needs at the moment. Okay, and I'm okay with fair play, but let's face facts. The health industry has very highly trained professionals who go to schools for eons of years to make sure they're qualified. Okay, the legal industry, eons of years to make sure they know what they're doing can represent you properly. And as an agent who's been doing this for a very long time, I put in the school of hard knocks to make certain that I'm providing the right data, only to be trumped by this system that's manipulating the market because most people simply don't know better than to question Zillow. So they believe that value on the surface, and God forbid they go to the Zillow offers and they take this stupid, horrendous lowball offer because they simply don't know better, and that's what the Zillow's estimate says it's worth. Listen, people, you're being lied to by Zillow each and every single day, okay? And that's just the reality. I'm not the only one that feels that way. If you ask most agents, they will examine exactly what I'm telling you right now. It is not just me. I believe that if you're going to provide a data resource, you have a responsibility to the public to provide that data resource accurately. Okay, and Zillow's response to this, I'm sure, would be, hey, we're trying, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into evaluating a property. If you're not pretty sure you're giving people the right number, don't give any number at all. That would be the better way to serve the consumer. But instead, they're putting misinformation out there as to what a property is worth. And that would be bad enough because it's wrong, but now they're buying houses based on that information. They're buying houses by misinforming uninformed consumers who already don't know what their property is worth. They don't know about the massive appreciation. Sure, they've heard the news, property values are up, but if you're a little old lady, little grandma Jean who bought your house back in 1978 for $60,000 and Zillow tells you it's worth $225,000, you're thinking, man, pay dirt. You think you're balling. Turns out Zillow forgot to tell you it's actually worth $300,000. You know what I mean? Because they had no interest. And they made it simple, right? They provide a service of buying the house, but they're doing so with the wrong information being provided to the consumer, and I just won't have that, okay? So the reason I have so much crap going out there about how I feel about Zillow is because I believe they're bad for agents. I said that years ago, okay? And now they're becoming bad for consumers, and now in a third and final shot, they're becoming bad for investors. Because I'm not gonna kid you, I buy houses at a discount every single day. That's what I do for a living. Okay, so I'm not knocking buying houses cheap. It's what I do. However, when I'm buying houses cheap, I have the integrity and ethics to tell the consumer, if you were to fix this up, if you wanted to clean out that 75 dumpsters worth of trash and get rid of the 30 cats that are living in the living room, you could probably sell this thing for substantially more than I'm going to pay you for it. Okay, however, you probably aren't going to do that, and you just want out. And if you just want out, I, as an investor, could be your best option. Note the word could be your best option, but I do so by providing actual data that supports what they could retail the property for in top-notch condition. I am certain Zillow's not doing the same. Okay, it's just very consumer unfriendly. And that's just the reality. As a professional, I can navigate around it. It doesn't bother me personally, but as an activist, as somebody believes, even as an investor who makes a profit, that everybody should get a fair price based on current condition for their home, I fully believe that. I don't think that Zillow should be allowed to lie to people about their Zestimate so they can buy properties at a discount. Okay? I don't believe that agents should be paying tens of thousands of dollars a month to basically buy back the data that they belonged to them to begin with when they listed that property, because it was in fact their listing that they procured through their marketing efforts, that they are doing the marketing on, that they took the high-end photos on, and a lot of agents, I'd say most agents, care a great deal about the consumer getting the best price for that property possible. Okay, it's in their best interest. The more they sell it for, the more they get paid. Zillow has no such concern. Their primary purpose is to mislead, in my opinion, and they set people up for failure by putting data out there that is simply inaccurate. So you want to know why I hate Zillow? You know what really grinds my gears?
Where did Peter Griffin go?
That's good, right? Zillow. I hate Zillow because I think they're inaccurate. And I just feel like we can do better. We can do better as an industry, and now Zillow has joined our industry. They're part of us now, whether we want them to be or not. We invited them into our home like Dracula at the front door. I could only come in if you invite me. Yeah, come on in, dude. Yeah, and now they're literally sucking the blood out of the industry as we speak. So the best thing we can do, you as the listeners of this podcast, if you're an investor, and obviously you are because you're listening to the show, I ask you to please do not allow or rely upon Zillow values to make your decision. I'm not saying not to buy houses at a discount. I'm definitely not saying not to make a profit. I'm saying do not let the machine do the math for you. Do your own analysis, understand what your property is worth, and do right by the people you're buying from. When you go in, you simply have to say full retail would be this. I buy at 70% of full retail, or whatever your calculations are. This is how I make a profit on it. Full disclosure, you could probably do better selling it on the open market, but you would have to fix it up. I know you don't want to do that, so I'm willing to make this problem go away for you in minutes rather than days or hours by buying at a discount. That's the service we as investors provide, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, but misleading with data to begin with, providing consumers that don't know better with information they need to have to make an honest decision about selling their home goes against my very makeup. Okay, my ethics are important, my integrity is important, and I do not believe that Zillow, maybe they tried, maybe the attempt was made, but they didn't do a very good job of it, and that, my friends, is why I hate Zillow. That was awesome. So that's the show, guys. I don't know if it was, I hope it was informative. I hope you understand why we take these jabs at Zillow during the show periodically, and I put that little right hook jab in there. I do mean it. I'm passionate about it. I really don't care for their system, and I do care that you guys understand why it's a problem. It's not just the money that went out of pocket. It's not just the leads that's been taken from agents. The bigger picture is the consumers getting a raw deal on the Zillow offers deal, right? We have seen some astoundingly low offers. And I will tell you this, if you've got a Zillow offer on your desk right now, you had Zillow give you an offer on the property, find a local investor. I'll be willing to bet dollars to donuts they're going to beat that offer by a substantial amount. They're still going to make a profit on it, but not like bend over profit like what Zillow's trying to make on those properties, okay? And every day they're getting over on people, and they're taking those houses for much less than they should be, and I just don't think it's a good thing. And of course, it takes away from the well-meaning, good investors and good real estate agents that are out there trying to make a living without providing misinformation. We can do this ethically. We can do this the right way. We can help people while making a profit. It can all work. You just have to focus on the right signs and do right by the people that you're working with. All right, guys, that's my show. We try to be informative and educational and have a good time. Don't let Zillow in the front door. He's outside going, hey, let me in. I will help you, right? Don't let him in, right? He's going to bite your neck. I guarantee you. He's a dangerous dude. Right? Protect yourself from that. Get the right information. Get a good, if you're not an agent, get a good analysis tool like PropStream. Get a free 7-day trial. When you go to foreclosuredealscoach.com, we'll get you a link to try it out for 7 days. And remember, when you do that, I'll actually spend some time with you going over doing one full deal analysis with you so you can understand how to use the software as well. Just a free service that I offer when you sign up with my affiliate link for PropStream. Full disclosure, I am compensated by PropStream to sell the software. There goes that ethics and integrity thing again, right? Okay, so I want to help you to use it so you can do your own analysis and not be reliant on tools like Zillow, who generally will not give you the right information, right? I hope that helped. I hope you got something out of it. Listen, right now is your time to get into real estate investing, okay? Head on out to foreclosuredealscoach.com. Go to the Facebook page, Foreclosure Deals Coach. Like our page there. We post all the articles that we talk about here on the show right there. You can get part of the discussion. You can ask questions of me. You can set up a 15-minute strategy session to discuss whether Foreclosure Deals Coaching is right for you in your real estate investing career. All can happen right there on the Foreclosure Deals Coach page. So please reach out. Let's connect and do some business together. With that, this is Donny Corum, your Foreclosure Deals Coach, reminding you Zillow sucks, and don't buy a house,
buy a deal.
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Like our Facebook page, Foreclosure Deals Coach, for the latest in real estate and foreclosure investing. Become a part of our community. Search Foreclosure Deals Coach on Facebook to join today.